her down and her on a hiking trail, University of Georgia.
Okay,
Rachel,
so one person doesn't represent all
hold on a
illegal
second.
immigrants.
Every person who is killed by an illegal alien is one that should not happen. Every single one.
Of course, and also the ones that are native born.
Everyone. And so that's the point. Is that it's not a matter of the rate. The rate, even if I accept your premise, which is incorrect, the rate is irrelevant. The number is what's relevant. There should be zero illegal aliens. There should be zero Americans being killed by illegals. Not to mention there's 6 other problems with the illegal security numbers. They depress wages. They are heavily involved. By the way, not to mention, a lot of people that cross on the southern border are also smuggling girls, weapons, and drugs alongside the southern border.
So if you know that this is happening, why are you targeting people that are not doing this? Isn't it easy? If you are finding out who are the smugglers and the children traffickers, if you figured it out, you already pointed your finger at who they are. Why are you pointing your finger plurally at everybody, at people that wake up and work at a Walmart, people that wake up every morning and work at a Fry's Marketplace or at Circle K, people that work and go clean up pools, people that work and go clean up yards? Are those people trafficking children? They wake up, get paid, and go home with their family. Are those this type of people? That's not that type of people. You can definitely go ahead and point out who are the people that are doing this, and you can separate the fuckers from the sheeps. You can separate the fuckers from the sheep.
When they come, it's the largest slavery operation in American history that many illegal aliens helped make possible on the southern border. And I guess the final question I'll have is, should a government serve its citizens first and foremost?
Yeah, of course.
Well, of course, serve the citizen first. I mean, if I go over there, go ahead and serve the American people first. Obviously, I'll wait. I just hope I'm not fucking dying from a car crash and you don't attend me, of course. I mean, that's the most important thing, that we go over there and we have to wait in line because we are not Americans. But if any case I'm fucking dying, I would like to get attention. Medical attention, obviously. That's what we all are. We are all human beings. He is a Christian. Charlie Kirk is a Christian, and he should know we are all valuable human beings made in the image of God. And when it comes to hospital and medicine, we should all get the same treatment because we have a valuable life. Our life, our breathing is valuable.
Okay, there's been many people who are like very political leaders who have said that this place is built off of immigrants.
Oh, is
right.
It? Hold on, let's think about that.
Sure.
First of all, it's legal, not illegal. But was America founded by immigrants or settlers?
Settlers.
That's not an immigrant.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's not my point. My point is that
just
people
brought up the nation built by immigrants.
Yeah,
we're actually not.
This topic right here is another one that pisses me off, bro. You can go around and keep saying that they were all people that were born over there, but they basically have a foreigner background. It's like all them fucking Chicanos. Their parents are Mexicans. They are born over there, and they build the country to be a better place, but they are still from a foreigner country. Why is the United States a melting pot? Why do you call the United States a melting pot? Because you have Chinatown, you have Little Italy, you have Japan, fucking Little Kyoto Bowl, you have little Mexican towns, you have fucking Los Angeles, you have New Mexico, you have motherfucking Florida, a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans and a whole bunch of Cubans are over there. You got New York, you got a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans over there. You got California, you got a whole bunch of Mexicans and Latin Americans over there. Come on, man. Melting pot. It's a whole bunch of immigrants making the country a universal race populated country.
The political leaders have said that this place is built.
Yeah, and they're wrong.
They're wrong? Political leaders are wrong. George W. Bush is wrong. All these political leaders who have built America
By the way, the first person to say that was...
How is that wrong? When illegal immigrants make... they grow the economy.
Okay,
Statistically,
allow me to build it out for you.
Sure.
Immigrants have helped at times in American history, but we are first and foremost a nation founded by settlers. Immigrants come to a country already built. Settlers come to a barren place and build something new.
Right.
This land was barren when people came. In the 1840s gold rush, this was not an easy place to live.
Yeah.
California was not exactly industrialized. There was not immigrants coming west to California. Those were settlers building a new place around, Western values. Finally, I would just ask the question, do you see a moral distinction between a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant?
Well,
Yeah.
the argument is that they're cutting in line. Like,
Yes,
the
they
argument is that they're cutting
are.
in line in the 20-year process that it would take for someone to cross illegally.
It's not 20, but yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and wait motherfucking 20 years to go to the place that I want to go. Do you understand that I'm willing to betray my nationality to be in your fucking country? Do you understand that I hate my country because it does not do what the United States does? I am not here to waste 20 years of my possible 50 years of life to wait over there while in those 20 years I just die here. In those 20 years I'm gonna suffer bullshit in this country when I could just be over there in 1 year, hopefully 2 years. Don't make it so complicated.
It's 20. At most it's 20. Right now there's around like 1.2 million people who are currently waiting that would take 6 to 7 years for a hearing.
And by the way, no one has a right to come to this country, just to be
Wait,
clear.
let me stay on track of what I was going
What?
to say. Okay, so people who come here usually.
How is this guy a Christian? Man, I like Charlie Kirk. I like what he debates. But how is he a Christian not believing that we have the human right to be wherever the fuck we want to be? We want to be wherever the fuck you are. So I'm secluded. I am secluded at a place where I don't want to live. Why don't you just fucking put me in prison? So I can just fucking stay there and never get the fuck out. I don't want to fucking live in this piece of shit place, man.
Almost all the time when they come here, they benefit society. They benefit society.
Yes.
There's studies that have done this.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Okay,
I'ma
not
go
necessarily,
work.
but overall in general.
Yeah.
When you look, overall
I
in general, you look at
fundamentally
this-
disagree with that.
You can't
I mean,
disagree with a fact.
hold
What?
on. Do you think Elon Omar has enriched the United States of America?
Who the
I
fuck
don't
is
know.
Do
that?
you think Rashida Tlaib?
Who the fuck is that?
I mean, I could go through person
Wait,
by.
Fucking bullshit. Who the fuck are these people that he's talking about? You want to talk shit like that? Okay. What about that motherfucker Mexican guy that was, well, he was a janitor at the fucking Cheetos, the fucking hot Cheetos. Mexican guy. He was a Mexican guy. He came up with a badass idea and made hot Cheetos. Just to give you one.
Are illegal immigrants that have caused harm?
Yeah, if you don't know, I don't mean to pick on you. It's fine.
Okay.
But I guess the final question is,
Sure.
do you have any concern that there are too many people coming into this country and we're a nation of strangers, not a
Yes.
nation of neighbors?
Yes,
People
too
who are
many.
coming are creating
Yes.
America, making it more growing, like the economy is growing, then what harm is that doing? Especially if the people who are coming are not.
I agree with him that too many people are jumping over there relentlessly making shit out of the United States. That is something that the United States is supposed to pay attention to and see who is who. Who is who. Make them go through a fucking psychological test. I don't fucking know. Check their historical background. See if they're rapists. See if they have records in fucking countries that they're from. See what are they doing over there. Why do they want to be over there? And check them out for a few years, 2 years, how they're doing. You will find out if one of those motherfuckers are crazy in the head before you even let them in. If they jumped in illegally, eventually they're gonna do something. Man, I don't know how the fuck to get to this topic, man.
An economy, though, aren't we? We're a culture. We're a language.
Yeah,
we're
of course.
people.
Okay, so let's talk about that front. When they come here, they don't have any kind of. They're not committing as more crimes than the people who are already here.
Yeah.
That is a
We've
statistic
already
done.
dispelled that, but
That is not. You can't
in
dispel a
California,
statistic.
let's
What are
take
you talking
California.
about? You can't.
Do you think there's anything wrong that a majority of young people in California speak Spanish, not English?
Wait, sorry. Can you say that
Do you
again?
think there's anything wrong or troubling to the fact that a majority of people under the age of 30 here in the States speak Spanish, not English? Is there a problem with that?
Well, yeah.
No. Yes, there's a problem with that, yes. Yes, there's a problem with that. Learn English, motherfuckers. Aprendan español, aprendan inglés, motherfuckers. If you're in the United States, learn English, motherfuckers.
Everyone should be able to have an ability to communicate with the rest of the crowd. So I don't know what the big issue is.
See, I think it's a huge problem when we
Yeah,
have
it is. Yeah.
a nation where you can't communicate
Sure.
with your fellow
Okay.
neighbors.
Simple solution: teach them how to speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our schools don't do that actually. And also, have a better solution.
Yeah.
Don't import a bunch of people that don't speak English.
You mean importing people who actually grow
Actually,
the economy?
well,
Who
again,
don't?
I reject your premise. And we have
That's
more
not
than
a premise. That's a study that's been done.
Actually, that people that don't speak English are afraid out of their asses to go outside to the street because they don't know English. They're afraid. They have a fear that they don't know how to communicate with other people. They have a fear that if the police catches them, the police will immediately find out that they are not from the country. So people like that, like me, when I was 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was afraid to go outside in the streets. Shit, I didn't even have a girlfriend because I was so fucking afraid that I wasn't able to communicate right. I was a virgin till I was 19 years old, 13 till 19 years old, because I didn't know how to evolve myself in that country, and I stood out of trouble for the whole time until I learned English. Once I learned English, I started hanging out with niggas, I started hanging out with gangsters, I started hanging out with white folks, with crackheads, with potheads. Then learning English became an issue because you become part of the nature. You've become part of the culture. When you don't speak English, you're afraid to be part of the culture. You don't even want to get close to it, and you just want to stay home. You just want to stay home. Watch TV in Spanish. Univision, Telemundo.
Do you know what a premise is? I don't actually care as much about economic growth because we're one nation under GDP. We're not one nation under GDP. We're a nation under God.
Yeah.
And when we lose social cohesion,
Oh my
and you
God.
import a bunch of people that don't share our values, that don't necessarily always assimilate, that's a major and serious problem. And we are a people first and foremost with a creed, and that creed is falling apart. Mass migration has not helped that creed. Yes, they might buy more trinkets. They might help depress wages.
Any Mexican that's a fucking atheist, get the fuck out of there. Any atheist Mexican, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're at risk of being a piece of shit in the United States. Because it's under God indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Yes, man, believe in God. Definitely, man, definitely. You should believe in God. I believe in God. I think Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and God, He is my Lord. You're making a big mistake judging people when they are helping the economy. The economy for the country makes people happier and makes people want to give thanks to God even more. I live in Mexico, and Mexico fucking sucks. I have to stick to God because I'm sad, because I suffer. I stick with Jesus Christ because He is a suffering God, and I stick to Him because I relate to Him through my suffering. You see how fucking the table flips? You see how the tortilla side, you're on the burned side of the tortilla? I'm living on the burned side of the tortilla when I could be living on the nice and cooked side of the tortilla and be giving thanks to God for being a prosperous person. Yeah? And I want to give thanks to God for one day making me a prosperous person. And this is just changing a lifestyle. You want to change lifestyle someday.
Migration, of course, can
Right,
help
all
them.
good things, all great things
Hold on.
for America.
They help major corporations, but you know what they also do? They keep down the wages of working people. If you are a plumber, yes, of course, if you're a plumber, electrician, or a welder, and you have to compete against someone from Nicaragua who's willing to do it for $5 less an hour, that depresses the wages of the American citizen.
What?
Yeah, so there's been studies that have done that also like counteract that. Illegal immigrants.
Well, let's use our reason.
Let's use our reason. Studies.
Let's use our reason.
Statistics.
How about our reason? So we've had mass migration for 20 years. Have wages gone up?
I don't know.
No, they haven't actually. So forget your studies. For 10 years we've had 30 million people come into America. Wages have gone down dramatically.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason why.
Because people make money and they send it back to their countries, to their families, and the United States is losing money. If they make $300 a week or $500 a week, they're sending back to Nicaragua like $200 and they're losing money. The United States is losing money, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So what I encourage you to do, just because there's a study that confirms, you should use your reason and look actually at self-evident truths. Be like, does that make sense? Can you name
Statistics are self-evident.
Well, not always. Statistics are very
always?
misleading. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I could say, did you know that 600 people a year die because of seatbelts? Well, that's a misleading statistic because over 100,000 lives are saved by seatbelts. That's an incomplete statistic.
Wait, okay, so where is so that's a gray area. So where's the gray area where people are talking about where 26% of illegal immigrants who come here commit less crimes than native born?
Okay, how many times have you been over this? That's just not correct.
Well,
it's
that
not
is
true.
correct. That is correct.
Every single crime. It doesn't matter about
This is a study
the rate.
that was done in Texas, the most diverse,
Again.
second most diverse state.
Every crime in illegal.
I've never heard of a mass shooting from a Mexican. I've never heard mass shooting at a church or at a university. Mass shooting done by a Mexican or a Costa Rican or a Nicaraguan. I heard of dumbass Mara Salvatrucha MS-13 guys doing crazy shit like that. But you gotta separate those crazy niggas from actual people that wanna go work. But that's El Salvador, something that's already being eradicated over there. Nayib Bukele is doing a great job over there, and I think all that people is just locked up right now. So can't go over and say, because El Salvador and MS-13, they're Hispanic Latinos, and that's why we don't want Hispanic Latinos. Now, Mexican cartel, you guys gotta know, Mexico has a fucking issue with the United States, man. They're fucking jealous of the United States, and they, I don't know, bro, they just have a fucking problem with the U.S., man. And some Mexicans, they do deserve a better life because they realize how fucked up their country is. Yeah? And some people, they just use the fucking fact of the United States having money. Boy.